Pastor Jared will be live in 4 minutes. We will be live in 3 minutes. We will be live in 2 minutes. Pastor Jared will be live in 1 minute.
Well, good evening, church. I just wanted to take a few moments this evening and update everyone on some changes around here, and also to encourage you a bit and give you some real practical instruction as we all navigate through a really challenging time for all of us. As you know, last Friday, things really began to escalate in communities all around the nation and even the world. Immediately following the president's announcement of a national emergency, things rapidly changed. Fear and panic flooded the streets, and so we've got a lot going on. And so I wanted to just update you on how we got here and some of the decisions we've had to make and I've had to make, and other decisions that are kind of out of control. But our initial instruction as of Friday was to ban all gatherings of 250 or more. And then yesterday, that was updated, and there was a ban on gatherings over 50 in attendance. And so obviously that does affect us. And but then in just a few short hours, the county then banned gatherings over 10. And so we've had to scramble here and make some adjustments. And so until further notice, our service will be streamed live on Sundays at 10 a.m. And that's going to be our entire service. And so worship and the teaching and prayer will all be streamed on Facebook, on our Facebook page. We will also be sending out a link to a YouTube channel, and we'll also be making efforts to embed that live stream into our website. And so, again, those of you that are following us on Facebook and are watching our normal live feed, it'll be there. We're going to improve the imaging and the quality of that live stream for you. And then it will also be stored. So for those of you that are even not available, to log in on Sunday morning at 10 a.m., you'll be able to watch those services sort of on demand, if you will. And so please join us. Again, that's going to be at therivernorco.com and also the River Church on Facebook. Our team has been phenomenal and very flexible, and we've just been rolling with the rapid changes. We have already been in contact with folks who are lock-ins or elderly, and some of those folks in our church family that are maybe a little bit more higher risk to the coronavirus, and just checking in on them, making sure they're doing okay, and they have what they need, and we'll continue to do that. I know this is a confusing and frightening time for many people, and that's not surprising. There is a lot changing. Life is changing almost every hour. And obviously, most of you are watching the news and paying attention and seeing what's happening in the local grocery stores and stuff. And so people around the world are legitimately sick. Some have died. There is some reports out there that people are recovering from it who are infected, and so hopefully the measures that the government is taking will help curb things a little bit, and I'm sure that we will see more infections in the future as tests are being made available, and so it's going to be a tough road ahead of us. And so there's a lot of certainly medical issues and ethical issues, logistical stuff that's happening in all of our communities. And but there's also questions of faith, and people are looking for hope. And so I want to encourage you to be a part of that voice. This is a tremendous, tremendous opportunity for the body of Christ to bring hope to people who are really on their heels right now and don't know where to turn and don't know what to do. It's a great opportunity for us to be a voice of peace and calm and hope, but also a voice that brings the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so share those live feeds. Invite your friends to tune in. Even gather around it if you're able to, and folks are healthy. Gather around the computer or the television, whatever you're able to hook that live feed up to. I want to give you some practical instruction now. Number one, I think most importantly, is don't panic. Panic, fear, and so much of the stuff that I think is honestly, it's got me more concerned than the actual virus. There's very practical things we can do to boost our immune system and stay healthy and practice good hygiene. But what I think has really got our community kind of scrambling is the panic that's driving so many decisions that folks are making right now. Panic and fear is not from God. And so this isn't to say that we're not to, that there's no reason to be concerned or that we should ignore sound advice. I think there's a balance. There is, I think we have an opportunity, and I think we should be listening to sound advice from professionals, from the health experts. But it's possible, and I think we need to be this voice. We need to be the people who can respond seriously in crisis and intentionally. We can be deliberate without panic. And so please be sensible and again, be calm and full of hope. Secondly, I'm seeing a lot of this. I'm hearing some of it in the conversations and stuff. Don't demonize people. I'm reminded of, I think it's John chapter 9, where folks ask Jesus, like, who sinned and, that this guy would be blind? And Jesus said, no one did. You see, the sickness wasn't necessarily for those people, for that person, a punishment from God. And I think it's easy sometimes for us to look at things. There's a lot of discussion and phrases and things being thrown around that it's a Chinese virus or it's this or that. Listen, infected people aren't to blame. And so just be mindful of that when we deal with people and who are sick or potentially sick. Don't demonize folks. Third, pray. This is an incredible time for you to, maybe if you've kind of become a little laxed in your relationship with Jesus, this is an opportunity to really stoke that fire. And, also, I want to remind you that you're still part of a community. You're obviously a part of our city, but you're part of our church family and our church community. And a lot of people are isolated right now. And isolation alone brings a whole lot of emotion. And then you add the potential for illness and all of the fear that comes with that. It can be a really disheartening season for folks. And so remember, you're part of a faith community. You're part of a community here in the city of Norco and surrounding areas. And you're part of the body of Christ. And so, our health officials and government officials are instructing us to practice what they're calling social distancing. I want to reframe that for you. And I want you to practice physical distancing, as they're recommending, but not social distancing. There is technology. We still have cell phones. We have the internet. We have an ability to still connect with and communicate with people. And so I want to encourage you, do that. You miss someone, you're worried about somebody, reach out to them and encourage them, pray with them. Again, send the live feeds links to them. Just check on folks. And that may be just a neighbor, an elderly neighbor, or again, like church family. And so also, parents, this is a tremendous opportunity for you. So much of our church culture and how we've set things up here and what we've grown accustomed to compartmentalizes our faith. You have a youth leader and volunteer teachers and kids leaders and who are a lot of times the ones who are depositing faith and teaching into the hearts and minds of your children. You now are the front line to that. And so I want to encourage you, take advantage of this time, gather around the live feeds, model leadership, faith, and prayer and devotion with your children. Open up, sit down with them on a Sunday morning, open up the Bible with them, begin to have these sorts of discussions around the dinner table perhaps. Discuss teachings and what your kids are reading in the Bible with them. I think it's a tremendous opportunity to strengthen the family. And also, I think it's another opportunity to sort of reprioritize family life a little bit. We're not out in public. We're not going to all these public events and sporting events and all these extracurricular things. And it's a tremendous opportunity for you to slow down, for you to re-engage family life, maybe reinstituting family dinners, hanging out together. You know, it's the family dinner is an incredible time for you to dialogue with your kids, to ask your kids, what are you feeling right now? What's going on? Kids are missing their routine. Kids are missing their friends, and just everything has been disrupted. And it's a great opportunity for you to find out what's going on in the hearts and minds of your children and speak into that and redirect that fear, that sadness, that uncertainty, and anchor it in faith. Also, I want to inform you that our Storehouse Food Bank is temporarily closed. Now, that's not because of the social distancing or the physical distancing or any of the health issues. It's because our supply is depleted right now. And so we'll be working with our suppliers to increase our supply and hopefully get that back up and running and get food out to families who need it the most. If you get into an emergency situation where you are without food, please let us know. We do have a very limited supply, and so please, if you do find yourself in a tough spot and you're like everyone else, not finding a whole lot at the local stores, please call our office. If we aren't open at that time, please leave a voicemail. Our staff will get back to you and make sure we get food out to you. Also, you can email us directly from our app, and there's a contact button there. You can email us directly with that request for food or any other prayer requests that you might have. And so, listen, we love you. This wasn't an easy decision for us. It is not our ideal scenario. We would love to have our doors open this Sunday. And hopefully, that might still be a possibility, but we are following along with the guidelines and expectations and even instructions from our leaders. It is a biblical thing for us to adhere to authority and governmental authority, and so we're doing that right now to be wise, and we hope to very soon reopen our doors and continue to love you and lead you and teach you and pour into your families and your faith. But in the meantime, we will see you Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. live stream on the internet, again, on our Facebook page and at our website, therivernorco.com. Also, for those of you who give and have continued to give faithfully, we want to thank you. We could not do this without you. And so if you would like to help support the ministry and continue to support the ministry, you can text River Norco to 77977 and just follow those easy steps.